In this video, I'm going to talk about all the best charms and equipment that you can use in the latest version of the game, like the latest game, all the rare quality stuff, all the best things that you can possibly equip yourself with so that you can do all of the hardest bosses or I guess monsters in the game. Now, starting off with more of the gimmicky ones, the Grappler is obviously one of the more interesting tools, equipments that you can use. Most likely, you're probably going to use it for caves. You're probably going to want to be like, yo, using it out on the ground like this, but that's a waste because you can only use it 10 times before it breaks. In order to unlock the Grappler, you have to have discovered copper and made copper bars through the smelter. You also have to have collected blast powder and cord, and that's actually how you make it here at the crafting bench under the torch icon you can see over here. In the same place, the next piece of equipment is the glider, which I'm sure you guys already have because this is one thing everybody's going to want. That is a piece of equipment that I highly recommend that you get for, any time that you're falling, you can just jump again and use a glider to glide to safety. Now, before we touch on the big boy stuff, the big charms, let's talk about my favorite cool drink. It sounded like I was going to start an ad, but no, it's actually the snowberry shake. The best food in the game, in my opinion, for healing is the snowberry shake. It will give you 12 hearts when you drink it, but the reason why you want this one over other foods is because other foods can take up to like 7 or 5 seconds to eat or drink. The snowberry shake takes 2 seconds to drink. 2 seconds for 12 hearts, instant healing. This is something you're going to need late game when you're fighting things that can basically kill you in like 2 or 3 hits. You don't have the time to stand around eating something for 5 seconds. So this is the best thing that you can use to heal. All right, so now let's talk about charms. Now, charms are things that you can put in your equipment slots here. You do have 3 in your inventory, and you can see I've put a set of, 4 sets of different charms here, and there's a unique one here too. Let's start with the unique one. The unique one is called Totem of the Immortal. Basically, what this does is when you equip it, it will give you 4 extra hearts, 7 extra defense, but when you take lethal damage that should have killed you, instead of dying, the Totem of the Immortal will be destroyed instead. It's kind of like that thing from Minecraft. I don't know what it's called, but when you die, the thing disappears instead of you. It sounds great and all, but the way to get this Totem of the Immortal is very, very, very difficult. It is a blue quality totem over here. You'll unlock it once you have discovered wool thread, cut amber, obsidian slabs, and sand brute scale. Sand brutes are like the second hardest enemy to fight in the game. Honestly, they're probably tied with the first hardest enemy to fight in the game. So making one of these is incredibly difficult, but also there are better things because Totem of the Immortal requires you to actually be dying. There are other ones that can almost prevent you from even getting close to dying, and I'll show you now. But let's first cover the best ones for heat and cold resistance. So for heat resistance, there's only blue quality. The rare quality ones, they aren't ones that go higher yet, at least in the game. So you can see here, the cool-headed charm increases resistance to hot temperatures. It will give you 10 defense and 4 hearts for each one. So if I go ahead and I equip this, you can see here, we get 15 hearts and we get 30 defense at the top left of the screen. This is pretty good, and exploring lava caves is fantastic with this. This is exactly what you'll be using to go into a lava cave, to go collect all the resources, fight all the enemies in a lava cave. That is the best layout that you can have for heat. But if we're talking about the cold, you're going to rather use the inner fire charm. There's also a blue quality one, which you'll probably use at the beginning of going into the frost biome. But the epic one is the highest and the best version of the cold charm that you can use. This is something you're probably going to try get as soon as you can even get access into the frost biome, and start upgrading this as much as you can, because not only does it give you extreme resistance to cold temperatures, it's going to give you 5 hearts for each one, as well as 14 defense. So if I equip this all, you can see here, we now have 18 hearts of health and 42 defense. So now when things hit us, we don't take quite as much damage compared to like the ones for heat resistance in the lava caves. And if you have 3 of these equipped, you will not feel any level of cold whatsoever. So those ice caves, you'll be fine. Now let's quickly go show you how you make both of those different charms. So at the crafting bench, if we go to the shield icon again, we'll start with the cool-headed charm in its highest quality here. It's the blue quality. You can see here, this one is going to require heavy wool thread. And if you recall, you're going to get heavy wool from secret chests in the, frozen lands. Any chests that you can find there have a chance of giving you heavy wool, and that's currently the only way to get it. Frost shells from the frost rollers. Malachite slabs. Malachite is those rocks that you find at the top of the ice slabs, at the top of the frozen biomes map, and then a sand brute scale. So also this one is a little bit difficult to make. Even though it is a blue quality one, I feel like this is a really hard recipe to fill in here. But you will probably find sand brute scales in chests as you play the game as well. It's not uncommon. I have found several. As for the inner fire charm, the inner fire charm is going to be quite difficult to get. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna require heavy wool thread as well, bright core from the lava caves, the fire caves, 10 blast cores, which is so much. That's so many blast cores to collect. And then one frost brute scale. Possibly the hardest item to get in the entire game. You're gonna have to fight a frost brute, which probably you're not gonna fight one just yet to get all of these. You're probably gonna get better luck trying to find frost brute scales in chests as like rare drops. And lastly, the most strongest charm of all for fighting brutes and anything that hits really damn hard, you're going to be making the Charm of Resilience. At least it's not as hard to make this compared to the other ones. The Charm of Resilience has a very interesting little bonus thing. When you're wearing it, it grants bonus defense for a few seconds after taking damage. So if you're getting hit multiple times, if you end up getting hit a time after that, you actually take way less damage. So it's very nice for any follow-up hits that hit you. For example, check right now, I have 42 defense, I have 18 hearts, the exact same you would have with the the inner fire charms that you use for the cold temperatures. The only difference here is that if there's an enemy and they hit me, you'll see this guy, when he hits me over here, come on, whack-a-mole, boom, my defense goes up to 66, right? And you'll see after he hits me, it stays on 66 for like maybe 3, 4, even 5 seconds, maybe 3 or 4 seconds. I don't know there. It seems like 3 or 4 seconds. I mean, ideally, you don't want to get hit by stuff, but it gives you a huge amount of shielding if you are getting attacked by multiple creatures, like, for example, those bone wolves inside of the frost caves. And to craft these, you're going to have to go to the crafting bench, and inside the crafting bench in the shield icon, if you see, we go down to the Charm of Resilience. This one will be unlocked once you get all of the ingredients involved to craft it. You're going to have to get heavy wool thread. You're going to have iron bars, malachite slabs, and 5 cursed bones from defeating bone wolves in the Frostlands caves. It's actually a lot easier to get this than it is to get the brute scales. And ultimately, this is the best armor you're going to try wear, especially if you're wearing like maybe 2 of the cool-headed charms and 1 of the Charm of Resilience. Like, for example, if you do this setup instead, is a very great way to get the defense, but also still keep the, the heat resistance or cold resistance for that matter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.